David Oyelowo was on the programme. Remind me, it was last week, wasn't it?
It was just last week.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, thank you.
Just checking.
And he was talking about a number of films. He was talking about this. He was also talking about the Amarasanti film, United Kingdom, which opened the London Film Festival and opens here in a... Does it open here before Christmas? Or
It's a couple of weeks' time because Amara is coming on the show.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, you've done that interview already, yes? Yeah, and she was, I take it, as always, eloquent, forthright, funny. Fine, great. So... the story is a true life story of a young girl growing up in an impoverished area of Kampala who has a talent for chess, which is completely, unexpected. What happens is she goes by a group which is run by the character played by David Oyelowo, Robert Katande, and she looks in, she sees people playing chess, and she decides that she wants to give it a go. She starts giving it a go, and it's a game which immediately makes sense to her. She's called Fiona Mutesi. The next thing you know is that there is some talk that they may be able to go and compete in a sort of upmarket competition, which initially there's problems about whether or not they are, because there's going to be entrance fees and they're not officially at school and all these sort of hurdles that are thrown in their way. But their mentor, played by David Oyelowo, thinks that they absolutely have a chance and thinks that they can do well, and thinks that particularly Fiona Mutesi has got an extraordinary skill which in the right environment will flourish. What he then needs is her mother's permission to go to these competitions.
This is a chance for them to visit the finest school in the country.
Oh, well, how can I pay school fees?
No need for that now. Your children are very vital to our group. Brian is full of determination, but your daughter, her intelligence is very high, perhaps the highest among all my children. This opportunity could be very valuable to her. Allow your children to come with us to King's College, and I will find a way for them to enter school. Eh?
You speak no sense.
Let them come, and when we return, I will put them in private classes with the best teacher in Kampala. Nyabo, please, madam. Eh? Hey.
I am allowing them. If you do not keep your promise, you will never see my children again. Would you?
Thank you, madam.
Mama, we are forever grateful.
Now, you've seen this film too, obviously, because you did the interview with David Oyelowo. It's based on a book, the full title of which is The Queen of Katwe, a story of life, chess, and one extraordinary girl's dream of becoming a grandmaster, which is kind of, take it, that's a kind of plot synopsis. And it's directed rather brilliantly, I have to say, by Mira Nair. You remarked when you interviewed David Oyelowo that it was notable that so it's a Disney film. It comes under the it has the Disney imprimatur on it, and at the beginning of it, we open in Katwe in Kampala, and actually the movie then stays pretty much in that area. It's location footage. Obviously, they travel to other places, but it's really got a sense of location. And you said it's funny because it's kind of quietly radical that you don't expect that to be the case. We've seen these kind of Disney movies before, but not one which is particularly located in this environment.
It does stay in Africa the whole time.
They don't
just move around. They
Absolutely.
don't go to Europe. They don't go to America. It's an African movie. Just happen to have Disney at the beginning.
Absolutely. And also brilliantly shot by Sean Bobbitt, who really captures that environment. He captures the vibrancy of it, also the difficulty of it, the poverty, but also the kind of the really sort of vibrant sense of life. It's a film with the bright colours, and it's really enchanting to look at. And incidentally, a very engaging soundtrack which combines original music with popular hits. So on the one level, I think the thing that impressed me the most about it was the fact that it was a subversive film. It was getting a message through without looking like it was doing it. I mean, I can imagine it's a mainstream film. It's going to play in mainstream cinemas. We've got Half Term just coming up. It's exactly the kind of thing that any audience could go and watch and find. And one of the reasons for that is because that at the centre of it is the strangely cinematic spectacle of chess. Now, there have been a number of movies in the past that have dealt with chess, and it always sounds weird talking about chess being a cinematic sport because, I mean, actually, if you look at for example, you look at the wiki page for this, it describes it as being a biographical sports drama, and I don't ever think of chess as being a sport in that way. I mean, obviously, it's a competitive sport, but you don't think of chess as being sport. When I think of chess, I think of films like The Grass Arena, which had such an extraordinary movie. It's about a number of other things other than chess. Or you think of Looking for Bobby Fischer, or you think of Bobby Fischer versus the World, or you think of any of those things which are kind of, taking chess and using it in this strange way of deconstructing the existential experience. What this does is takes chess And you don't have to understand how to play chess, because I don't. I mean, I can play it just about, but I don't understand the moves that are playing out on the board. But what Mireille manages to do is to compress the on-board drama just enough that even though if you don't understand what the rooks and the pawns and I said the prawns, the rooks and the pawns and the kings are doing, you do get swept up in the matches. More importantly, when you have, a cast of this quality, so, David Oyelowo and Lupita Nyong'o, who is absolutely terrific, what they do is that they bring absolute conviction to their roles. Incidentally, at the end of the film, there's a section in which you see the performers and the real people that they're playing, because apparently this does stick pretty closely to the true story. Apparently, it is sort of pretty factual. So what you end up with is something which is an aspirational story, a story which absolutely has its feet on the ground and its head in the air and looking at the stars, with characters that you believe in, not just because you know that this is a true story, but also because they're played with such conviction, directed in a way which is vibrant and engaging and I mean, really exciting, really kind of, properly nail-biting, even when it's people playing chess. I really liked it, and I thought what it was managing to do was exactly the thing that David Oyelowo said that it was doing. It's subversive because it's telling a different story from a different perspective, and doing it in a way that seems completely mainstream and completely fine for the multiplex cinemas. And I hope it does well.